Hey y'all, before we jump into this vlog, I wanted to make two quick announcements. Number one, look at this. I'm wearing the new GREENSTALK tee, Plant Mama. It comes in this color pink and in a green color. And so they launched it with this Mother's Day sale. And I wanted to just remind you about the Mother's Day sale. If you are new, if you've been under the rock and you don't know what I'm talking about, GREENSTALK Garden, which is a vertical gardening system, is having their annual Mother's Day sale. You can get the basic or the original 5-tier for $109 and then $10 off with my code LFF10 brings it to $99. Also, they launched a 3-tier. You can see that in a previous video that I launched, that I put out last week, where I debuted that. So definitely go grab whatever you need for the Mother's Day sale for you or for a friend, a sister, a mother, an aunt. It's the best time of the year to get a GREENSTALK in terms of pricing. This is the lowest price in the 5-tier that you're going to see all year long. So make sure that you go and grab one. The second announcement is that I'm doing a live Q&A on Tuesday, which will be tomorrow by the time you see this video at 6 p.m. Central, but it is only for my VIP members. So if you do not know that, I have a VIP membership. It is $4.99 a month. Anybody can join. What you get is live Q&As with me, as well as special YouTube videos just for the members community. You also get priority reply and comments. You get 10% off in our Living Foods Farm store on anything, classes, sales, whatever it is that we're offering. You get a 10% off discount, plus other stuff and other perks. So if you want to join the membership, you can cancel at any time. It's just $4.99 a month. I would love it if you would support me in that way. Plus, you get access to me in a more personal way. So if you want to be a part of that live Q&A tomorrow, make sure that you go ahead and hit the link. I'll put it in the first comment that you can join my VIP membership. Now, let's go watch this vlog. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today is an important day, a fun day. It's always fun when we're in the garden. So thank you so much for stopping by to hang out with me today in my garden. I am Barbara. If you are brand new to this channel, I live in Tennessee in Zone 7B. Thank you so much for being here. And for those that come back every single time, thank you very much. Today I'm on a mission, y'all. I'm on a mission to clean up, reduce, clean up some of the mess from our big planting party, to reduce the number of plant starts I still have, and to use up every available space. Y'all, that just came to me. That was from on high. That was from on high. Okay. Clean, reduce, and use. That's what we're doing today. So I'm so glad that you stopped by. We had a huge big planting party a few days ago, and what that is that my friends came and helped me plant our 4,000 square foot in-ground garden. Now we have that space that we grow in only in the summer, but we also have a hot tunnel that's 30 by 96 that you'll see today, and then we have some spaces behind our house. So we have 3 main growing spaces. I grew over 1,100 plants, and y'all, I've planted out all the spaces, and I still have plants left over. But today, we're gonna squeeze some stuff on in where it needs to go so that I can reduce the number that I have, and then I will give away or sell whatever is left. But I got a couple of open spots as I have been going around looking at things. There are a couple of things that have failed, which is normal, whether it's transplant shock, too hot, not enough water, not deep enough in the ground, whatever the case may be. There's a couple of plants that I've had to throw away, which is good that I have extra plants. So I would rather have more than enough plants than not enough plants, because when you don't have enough plants, you got to go spend the money and get you some plants, or either you're gonna have an open space. For those who have been here, y'all know how I feel about open space. I don't like it. I want every space that is possible to be filled with food or flowers. That is me. Like, I don't like to leave nothing open. So we're going to make sure that every space is filled. But it's a blessing that I do have extra plants, because I can just pop in extra stuff that has not done well. So I would think total in all, out of all of the spaces, I have probably lost, I would say maybe 5 to 8, which is not a huge deal. And like I said, I got plenty. So the first thing we're going to do is tackle the in-ground garden. So let me show you what we're gonna do out here. So you can see that this table all right here was like Operation Central. So you can see our leftover pots and stuff that we have. Then we also have like some leftover plants. So I'm starting out here because I have my tunnel, my hose pipe from the tunnel out here because one of ours broke. I know, shocker. So I need my husband to hook up the new one. But before I drag that one all the way in the tunnel, let me go ahead and do this out here so I can go ahead and water it in, because it's probably another hour or so before the drip comes on. And so because it's pretty relatively mild right now, I still like to water as soon as I put plants in. So one of the first things that we're going to do is we're going to actually reseed the purple hull peas. So I had them when I had my friends come and plant, I only had them put one seed in the ground, but because I have seeds left over, at least I think I do. Yep, I do. I'm gonna go ahead and double seed. I've only seen one come up out of all of the seeds that we have, so I'm gonna go ahead and reseed those and just drop another seed in there since I have it, and I had already soaked these and put them in water. So instead of them going to waste, we're gonna do that first. And then also, let me turn the camera around. Let me show you where the purple hull peas are. So the purple hull peas are along this trellis right here, and I had them go down about 75% of the way. I'm actually going to back that up, and I'll tell you why, but let's go ahead and first and reseed these and add another pea to the holes that are already here. Okay, so we got the purple hull peas in the ground reseeded. I did see like a couple of more that had germinated, but the rest of them had not. So I'm glad that I went ahead and did it. And also that was old seed. That seed was probably 2 years old. So anyway, there's like 2 or 3 in each hole. So hopefully it'll germinate. We're supposed to have rain over the next 2 days, so that'll be good. But I'm going to water it in once I get done with everything out here. So let me show you what we're going to do next. So these 3 spaces right here, I have that I can feel, 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. They were working on the drip when we were doing this row, so these are 3 open spaces. This row is the non-spicy pepper row, so I'm actually going to put probably a marigold or something in here. I don't think I have any more peppers, but let's go look at our stash and see what we have that we can plop in these three spaces. So I went over to my stash. I found some marigolds and basil. So in these 3 spots, I end up doing a marigold, a basil, and I might have done 2 marigolds if I remember correctly. But it felt so good to just go over to the table, pick what I wanted. And usually when I'm doing the rows in ground, I try to put flowers at the beginning and at the end of the row. So that way there is some beauty before we get into the vegetables. So that's just something that I've always done. And when I do my raised beds, I usually put flowers in the corners of the raised beds when I have a raised bed that's vegetables. That's just, something that I do. Now I do have marigolds throughout the row as well, as you'll be able to see on future garden tours. But I usually always start the row with a flower and end the row with a flower. So now I move on to the next row, and I have squash and zucchini in my hands, and I am replacing the plants that just look rough, that have died or transplant shock or whatever the case may be. I found a couple of them that were not, really deep enough in the ground. So I had plenty of squash plants. So I'm just taking out the old plant and putting in a new one that looks better. Again, because I have so many plants, I have the luxury of being able to do this. If I did not have those, then I probably would give those plants that were in the ground maybe a little more time, stick them further in the ground, fertilize them, and just see if they would come back to life. But because I have plenty, I can just take away the dead ones and replace with new ones. So in this row is squash and zucchini. And so I have like 4 different kinds of squash. I have a honey nut, a honey patch, cube of butter, and crookneck. And then for zucchini, I think I have 2 different varieties. I have cash machine, which is a new variety to me. And then I have the Dunja, which I've done before. And then I also have a few green beans in this row as well. But this is mostly our squash and our zucchini crops. And I will succession plant these. I could have, if I would have thought about it, I would have left some space somewhere else in the garden, maybe in a different row, to put more squash and zucchini. But what I will do is that I will start more squash and zucchini seeds probably in the next 3 weeks, so that when the squash bugs come, because they're going to find their way there, that I can just take those out and replace them with new plants. I just have not found a way to get rid of squash bugs 100%. No matter what I do, it's just a problem in my area and in the South. And so I combat it with just succession planting. Because I have a long growing season, I can plant squash today. I'll have a harvest in literally 40 or 50 days. It'll be good for about, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks. We'll get plenty of squash, and then the squash bugs will come. And at that time, I'll just rip all of this up, and then I'll plant new ones. Or I could just wait a little bit later in the season, like maybe August or so, when the squash bugs die down, and then plant some more. Okay, y'all, it feels good to be able to fill in the open spaces or remove plants that are not doing well and refill it with new plants. That feels really good. So if I felt like I was complaining that I had too many plants, I'm not complaining right now. I'm exclaiming, thank you, Jesus. I'm so glad that I do, because if I had these open spaces, or if I was having to pull plants that were not doing well and I did not have plants, then I would be compelled to go and buy plants, which is just more money. But because we've already spent the money on seeds and did it ourselves, we can just pop. That's what we're doing. So we have reseeded the purple hull beans. We have replaced the squash that looks bad, and I still have, let's see, like 3 or 4 squash left over. We took care of this one row that had 3 open spaces. So now what we're going to do next is plant some tomatoes. So on the purple hull row, I had them go down to like 30 spaces, but they actually went down like 6 extra spaces, which would have been fine. But I'm actually going to, if there is a pea there, remove it, and I'm going to actually plant tomatoes there. So on the purple hull pea row, I have purple hull peas, then I have cucumbers, and then I have tomatoes. Now, keep in mind, I have a whole row of tomatoes already, but I needed something else to go kind of in that row. Now, I could have done some pole green beans, but last year I did pole green beans that did not have great success. I did a purple bean, a red bean. I did the Scarlet Emperor, which it did not produce anything. I did the purple, I think it's called Triafino. It produced, but the beans were not good. They were woody. And then I don't remember the other pole bean that I did, but whatever it was, it just did not last long on the vine. And once I brought it in, it just was tough. It just didn't taste good. So I decided not to do any pole green beans this year, but I am in the market. Let me know if you have a good pole green bean that you've done that works really well. Let me know, and maybe I'll do that for next year. But what I'm going to do is, I found as I was walking through, there's some tomatoes that I really want planted that did not get planted. So it was a lot of chaos going on that particular day, and I think I had left this tray at the house, but I don't have any. I found some striped German, which is a new tomato to me, and I found Cherokee Carbon, which is a new tomato to me. Now, I do have a couple of Cherokee Carbon in the tunnel, but I don't have any out here. So I found 4 Cherokee Carbon and then like 8 striped German, and they don't look the best, but once I give them some water and some fertilization, they're gonna be just fine. So we are actually going to plant, let's do 3 and 3. We will do 3 Cherokee Carbon and 3 striped German in that spot where the beans were, and then I have another open spot, I think, on the tomato only row that we can pop another one in. So let's do that. Okay, y'all, we have made significant process. We have made significant progress. I think I have gotten rid of at least, I shouldn't say gotten rid of, I've been able to use about 25 plants. So we did like 7 or 8 in the tomato row with the cucumbers and the purple whole peas. I planted out 6 more okra, so that should give me a total of either 10 or 12. So I had those okra left over. I did like 4 to 6 sunflowers. I've done some petunias in one of the raised beds. So y'all, I'm feeling good. So let me show you what we have left. So we have this tray left that's going to go in the tunnel. I have about 4 marigolds there. This is rosemary that I need to put out. This is actually the one rosemary that I actually grew from seed. Look at her. It's my first time ever. Isn't she pretty? And one of you viewers actually sent me rosemary seeds because I was saying last year how I had heard that rosemary was very difficult to grow by seed. And by the time that I had the seeds, it was too late to start it. But I started it this year. I want to say I started like 6 and only 1 germinated, but I'll take my 1. This I did from seed. So I can't remember the viewer who sent it to me, but thank you. I appreciate you guys always looking out for me. So I'm going to put her in a bed in the tunnel. And then I have 1 rosemary. This is a small leaf gum that I've been saving to put somewhere. And then this is just a flower I'm going to actually use for my house for a flower arrangement. And then we have this tray over here. So it is mostly tomatoes, Amish paste. I have plenty of those out. I'm not too concerned about those. And then I have a few more tomatoes here. And then I have, it looks like 5 squash. That's it out here. So we did make a dent to the stuff out here. You can see the table is getting cleaned up. Not clean as in clean, but like organized. So we got all of our empty trays here. This is all just like trash that I can compost. And then I have a stack of just trays here that need to be cleaned. So we are definitely getting there. So now we're going to go inside the tunnel and water the plants that's in there that have been hanging out on the ground because they look like real sad. So we're going to water those and then see where we can fill in some spots in the tunnel. Okay, y'all, I got head down when I got in the tunnel and just started getting things done, and I didn't turn on the camera. But look, I put my little rosemary there so that she can grow up in this corner and be, I would say, a permanent fixture in this bed. What else did I do? I also planted in more peppers. So I did and added 6 jalapenos. You can see they're the light colored ones there because they had been in those pots. But I'm sure once I fertilize them, they will green up. So I added 6 jalapenos to this bed. I still have space for maybe a couple more. So I was able to do that. And then I also added 1 flower here, but I need to add another one. Oh, there it is back there. I added a cinnamon basil right there. So let's go assess and see what else we have. So now I go and focus on the stuff that's in ground. But first I stopped by this last raised bed and I put in some more peppers. So I'm filling this bed up with some of the jalapeno peppers that I have. I have about 18 or so left. So I'm going to put like 6 or 7 in this bed. And then once I get done here, I'm going to go to the in-ground spaces. And I went through and counted to see how many open spaces I have. And I have about at least 4 or 5 open spaces. So then I start to tackle that. As I walk down here, I put a sunflower down near the end. I pop in a couple of marigolds and basil as well. And then I had a few Anaheim peppers that I put in there as well. Then I pop over this last bed. This is the flower pollinator bed, as long as I have some lettuce and calendula in here. So I pop in a few more zinnias because I have tons of zinnias left. Zinnias grow tall and can be pretty, tall and bushy. Okay, y'all, I have gotten as much in as I possibly can right now without just simply overcrowding. There is a such thing as intensive planting. I don't do much intensive planting, and I think more of it is not because it doesn't work. More of it is just my personality. I don't like for things to be cluttered and I gotta like weed through and find out what's what. Now, when I see pictures on Instagram of people doing intensive planting, I'm like, oh man, that's nice. I just never do it myself. And if you're wondering what intensive planting is, it's exactly what it says. Like, you plant things really close together, you stick a lot of stuff in there, and it kind of all grows in together. That's just not my preferred style. So I still like to see some open space so that I know what's what and I can get to the stuff. That's just a personal preference. But I have done everything that I can. I couldn't get a lot of it on camera just because I'm having to step around. We had to bring in the 2 wheelbarrows behind me because it was supposed to rain, and it did. It has been coming down nonstop. I went in the house and came back out here just in a few minutes while it was quiet, but literally coming down, pouring down rain. But everything looks really, really good out here. Every spot is filled back there except one, and it has like a big root in it that I need my husband to get out. So I have one spot that I can put something in. I may be able to stick some more flowers in the pollinator patch, but I wish I had grown a bit more variety of flowers. So the flowers that I grew are marigolds, zinnias, sunflowers, and celosia, and nasturtiums. Is that it? Oh, petunias. I did grow some petunias. Where do I have any petunias left? I might have put all the petunias out because it would be good to have something low lying. And everything that I have in there, like the zinnias and the celosia, are going to grow really, really tall. And they're going to start competing for space. But if I had something like more low lying or mounding, that would be really pretty. But I don't have anything mounding or low to the ground. That would give some diversity. So yeah, I probably should have done some different kind of flowers, but who knows? I'm looking to see if I have any more petunias, or did I put them all out? I might have put them all out there, but I thought I had saved some because, okay, maybe I didn't because I don't see them anywhere. But anyway, so I also have this bed right here that I could do something with, except the carrots are in there, as well as lettuce and as well as dill. I could keep the dill in there, and I can start actually harvesting that. But the carrots are not ready. So you can see here, I pulled a carrot. Now, I say they're not ready, but what I did differently with these carrots that I don't normally do, and this is like the lazy carrot bed, is that normally, y'all, I buy pelleted seeds. I buy the Bolero variety from Johnny's. I did not have any more pelleted seeds. I had some regular Bolero seeds. So I broadcast sowed them, and I did not go back and thin them out, which is why they're not going to be the size that they normally are. But I think they might get bigger than this. They're like all clumped in there together. And so if I could harvest that bed, then I would have that whole bed full that I could put some more stuff in. But really what I have left are a lot of tomatoes and a lot of zinnias. I wouldn't put tomatoes in that bed because the tomatoes that I have are indeterminate, which means they're going to need a trellis, and I'm not going to put a trellis in that bed. But I could put other stuff in that bed. I could put more flowers in that bed, definitely. Or herbs or vegetables. Yeah, if I had that bed empty, I probably would stick some squash in there. It's been a while since I've done squash in the tunnel. But I have some squash left over that I could throw in that bed. But look at the carrots. I mean, it's edible, but I'm so used to mine were 5 times this size. So I don't know. We'll give it another 2 or 3 weeks and see what happens, but I don't know that I'm gonna keep these plants alive for another 2 to 3 weeks. We shall see. But it's good to have, like I said, more than what you need. So what I'm going to do now is water everything in. And when I do the garden tour for May, you'll be able to see how I filled it in and what I planted where. But basically, you know, I just filled in wherever I could, all out here, kind of more of the same, and making sure that everything was covered. But now I'm going to water everything in, especially the stuff that's in containers that's not on drip. And then I'll be peeking to see if there's any more little space that I can fill. Okay, y'all, got everything watered. I was gonna fertilize, but don't have time to do that before it's looking gray. I'm gonna go ahead and go in the house and just call it. As I look around, I still have a lot of plants. Let me just count these up real quick. Let's just, a quick estimate. Let's see. If I had to guess, I probably have a good 75 plants left over. I may have 100. Most of them are tomatoes, zinnias. Yeah, most of them are tomatoes, zinnias, and sunflowers. That is the bulk of them. Yeah, that's what it is. So we will try our best to get rid of them by giving them away and also selling. So I'll update our website and we'll see what happens from there. If I had some more spaces come open, then they may be okay, but I'll see what I can hang on to and what I can't. And that's the way it goes. Oh, I forgot I still got 2 trays up there. I see it on my porch up at my house. I was feeling good about myself. I still feel good about myself because y'all, we did put out, I would say at least, we probably did at least 40 or 50 plants. So that's at least a third. At least a third. We made progress. So thank you guys for joining me today. I'm going to stay optimistic. Thank you for joining me. Remember to take advantage of the GREENSTALK sale and also take advantage of becoming a VIP member so you can see me live tomorrow night and get all your questions answered live from the garden. Remember, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.